My beloved child, listen closely, for I am speaking now not to trouble your heart, but to awaken it. The hour is urgent. You have sensed the shift, haven't you? That unease that won't leave. That question you can't silence. You may not know what it means, but I do. And I've brought you here because you must hear me now. You are standing at a threshold, one that many walk past unaware. But I will not let you drift without direction. You've been pulled in many directions lately, feeling uncertain and weary. Yet even in the fog, I have been near. You've looked at your life and only seen broken pieces, but I hold the whole design. I see what you cannot, the threats forming, the assignments waiting, and the door that is about to open. This is not about fear, it is about mercy. I am speaking now not because I'm angry, but because I love you too much to stay silent. Your next steps matter more than you know. What you decide in this moment will echo beyond this season, so pause, be still. Let your heart hear what your mind has tried to dismiss. The hour is urgent, but I am still here, and I will walk with you every step if you let me. My child, I need you to know this first. You cannot see what I see. I've watched you wrestle with confusion, carry burdens alone, and try to make sense of things that seem broken or delayed. But what you call silence or setback, I have used as strategy. There are battles I've fought for you that you never saw. There are traps I've cleared from your path without your knowing. That delay, that closed door, that unexpected detour, it wasn't random. It was me, shielding you from what would have harmed you. What you called coincidence was a divine interruption. What you called failure, I called redirection. Even now, I'm working in both the seen and unseen realms. I know the full picture, and I'm not confused. You are not losing. You are being led. And because I love you, I must tell you something else. I've been whispering, but now I must speak loudly. I've tried to reach you in the quiet, in the nudge of your conscience, in the gentle unease around certain people, in the tug you felt in your spirit when you almost said yes to something that wasn't for you. But lately, the noise around you and within you has grown so loud that my voice was drowned out. I do not compete for attention, but I will not stay silent when danger approaches. So I am raising my voice, not to shame you, not to scare you, but to wake you up. This moment carries eternal weight. The next few decisions you make will open doors or close them, some of them forever. You cannot afford to be distracted now. What comes next won't make sense unless you hear me say this. My no was not rejection, it was protection. I saw you cry over the thing you thought you lost. I heard your questions. Why didn't it work out? Why didn't they stay? Why didn't you bless this, Lord? But I say to you now, I stepped in not to hurt you but to rescue you. That opportunity you prayed for, it looked like a blessing, but it would have become a burden. That person you thought was your answer, they were a detour disguised as destiny. You asked me for joy and I gave you a closed door. You asked me for peace and I removed the noise. I answered with eternity in mind, not just your comfort in the moment. You need to hear this too. You are not alone, and you never have been. I saw every tear you cried when you thought no one noticed. I watched as you laid awake in the dark, carrying worries too heavy for your heart. I was there. I walked through every valley beside you, even when you couldn't feel me. I never abandoned you. My silence wasn't absence, it was alignment. I was aligning the right time, the right place, and the right people. And I'm still here, closer than the breath in your lungs, near to the brokenhearted. That includes you, especially you. Now, my child, return to me with your whole heart. I see how far you've drifted. You've run ahead, tried to fix things in your own strength, tried to carry what only I was meant to hold. But now I'm calling you back. Not to perform, not to prove yourself, but to surrender. I'm not asking for perfection. I'm asking for permission to come close again. I don't want your mask. I want your heart. I can handle the mess. Bring it all. Let me be the one who restores what you couldn't repair. And know this, your obedience unlocks more than you know. That small yes you whisper today, it will echo into tomorrow. That one step of trust will shift generations. I see what hangs in the balance. I know the blessings that have been delayed, waiting for your agreement. You weren't born by accident. You weren't placed here randomly. You were born for such a time as this. Your yes today will unlock what you've prayed for in secret. Finally, my child, hear me on this. Every sudden change has purpose in my hands. That unexpected shift, that closed door, that painful goodbye. I was not surprised. I saw it coming, and I already prepared your healing. What shook you was part of how I'm building something unshakable within you. I use the breaking to plant deeper roots. I use the loss to prepare room for something greater. I don't waste any part of your story, not even the pain. So stand firm, listen closely. Everything I am saying is not to crush you, but to carry you. You're not late, you're not forgotten, you are loved, and I'm still writing your story, with grace in every chapter. You asked me why the door closed, why the answer was no, and why what you loved slipped through your fingers. I heard the ache in your voice and the cries you never spoke aloud. You thought I ignored you. You assumed my silence meant absence. But the truth is this: I was there, and I said no to protect you. You saw something good, but I saw what it would have done to your soul in the years ahead. I saw the weight it would place on your shoulders, the way it would twist your heart, drain your peace, and pull you from the path I've prepared. You only saw the surface, but I saw the trap underneath. And so I stepped in. When I closed that door, it wasn't to reject you, it was to rescue you. You called it loss, you called it failure, but I called it mercy. I am not cruel. I do not withhold to harm you. Everything I do is birthed from eternal love. There are things you desired that would have slowly stolen your identity. There were people you begged me to keep in your life who would have cost you your purpose. I let some of them go. I blocked certain opportunities. I disrupted plans you built with passion, not because you were wrong to dream, but because I knew how those dreams would end. My no was a shield you didn't recognize. And even when you resented me for it, I stayed. I remained present in your confusion. I was patient while you wrestled with the unanswered, because I knew one day you would look back and see the wisdom in what felt like disappointment. I answered you with eternity in mind, not just your comfort. I always do. And even in the moments when you couldn't feel my hand never let go of you. You thought you were walking alone, but you were not. You assumed I had forgotten you, abandoned you, turned away, but I hadn't moved. I never do. From the first tear you cried behind closed doors to the silent prayers whispered into your pillow, I was listening. Every sigh, every ache, every time you broke down and said, "God, are you even there?" I was closer than your own breath. You are not alone, and you never have been. I walked with you when others walked away. I stood beside you in rooms where you felt invisible. I caught every tear, even the ones you wiped away before anyone noticed. I saw the weariness you hid behind the smile. I saw the bravery it took to keep going. I honored it all. My love doesn't leave when it gets hard. My presence doesn't vanish in the darkness. In fact, it's in the deepest valleys that I draw closest. I am near to the brokenhearted, and that means I'm especially close to you. You may have felt forgotten, but I remembered every detail. I kept track of every night you laid awake, wrestling with your thoughts. I stayed beside you when your strength gave out. You didn't notice it, but I carried you through days when you had nothing left to give. And I never shamed you for it. I do not love you based on your output. I don't measure your worth by your productivity or your perfection. I love you because you are mine. I was there in the beginning. I'll be there at the end. And I'm here right now, in this very moment, reminding you of what's always been true. You are seen. You are known. You are never alone. Even when others misunderstood your heart, I understood it. When no one checked in, I never stopped watching over you. When you couldn't speak, my spirit groaned for you. When you fell, I didn't flinch. I reached down to lift you again. And now I speak because I want you to remember. I want you to see what has been true beneath the pain. I did not reject you. I protected you. I did not leave you. I stood closer than ever. So do not judge my love by the outcomes. Do not measure my presence by how smooth the path looks. I am not just God of the mountaintop. I am Lord of the valley too. I carried you through storms you didn't even see. I fought battles in the unseen realm while you slept. And the fact that you're still here, still breathing, still reading this, is proof that grace has held you, even when you didn't feel strong enough to hold me. Let that be your reminder. Not every closed door is punishment. Not every delay is denial. Sometimes I withhold not because I'm angry, but because I'm protecting something sacred inside of you. I know what's ahead, and I know what your spirit needs to become strong for what's coming. So today, trust me. Trust that what didn't happen was part of my plan. Trust that who walked away made space for something better. Trust that I never left you, and I never will. This is the hour to believe again, to lean into my arms without performance, to surrender the pain of what you didn't understand, and to rest in the truth. My no was never rejection. It was the most loving protection of all. And my presence has been your constant through it all. You've been running, not always away from me, but ahead of me. You've tried to carry burdens that were never yours to bear. You've tried to manage life on your own terms, hoping that if you moved fast enough or stayed strong enough, you wouldn't break. But I saw you breaking long before you admitted it. I watched you hold your breath just to make it through the day. I saw how you smiled while you were silently falling apart. I know how hard you've worked to appear okay, but you were never called to pretend. You were called to abide in me. That's why I'm calling you back now. Not to perform, not to prove anything, but simply to surrender. You don't need to have the right words. You don't need to clean yourself up first. I'm not asking for perfection. I'm asking for honesty. I don't want the version of you that wears the mask. I want your real heart, even if it's trembling, even if it's unsure. I can handle your mess. I'm not afraid of your doubt. I'm not disappointed by your weakness. I've already seen it all, and I'm still choosing to reach for you. What I want is not your success, your productivity, or your ability to hold it all together. What I want is your yes. Return to me, not halfway, not just when it's convenient, not only when things fall apart. I want your whole heart. I want to walk with you, not just fix what hurts. I want to dwell with you, not just visit when times are hard. I want to be the center, not the last resort. You were never meant to do this alone. You were never designed to carry anxiety, fear, and shame like armor. Lay it down, all of it. I will not meet you with judgment. I will meet you with open arms. And here's what you must understand. Your surrender will open far more than relief for your own soul. It will unlock purpose for others too. When you say yes to me, the impact doesn't stop with you. Your obedience becomes a ripple that stretches across generations. Your willingness to trust me in this moment will break chains your family has carried for years. It will open doors for those who come after you. It will set a new trajectory for everything connected to you. You don't see it now, but every time you humble yourself and follow my voice, even when it costs you, heaven is moving. Legacies are being written. Delays are being reversed. Promises that have been hovering over your bloodline are finally taking root. Your yes in this hour has power. It won't always feel easy. It may not always look grand. Sometimes obedience means choosing peace instead of retaliation. Sometimes it means letting go when everyone expects you to fight. Sometimes it means saying no when the crowd says yes, and saying yes when fear tells you to wait. But I see it all, and I reward every quiet act of trust. I am not measuring your faithfulness by how visible your impact is. I am measuring it by the posture of your heart. So choose me now. Choose me in the small decisions, the hard conversations, the quiet disciplines. Choose me even when you don't know how the story ends. Choose me when it's uncomfortable. Choose me when no one else understands why you're walking away from what the world calls success. You were born for such a time as this. I placed you here, in this generation, this city, this family, this moment, on purpose. Not by accident, not by coincidence, but by divine design. There is something in you that I want to bring forth, but I will not force it. It must be yielded. It must be offered. That's why surrender matters. You do not need to strive. You do not need to earn my affection. You have it, always have. But now I am asking for your alignment. I have so much more to give, but I cannot pour it into hands that are still gripping old idols. I want to bless you, but I will not compete with distractions. I want to release favor, but I will not force it into places where you've already said no. So choose wisely, choose wholly. Choose me, because when you do, when you give me your whole heart and walk in obedience, the heavens respond. Chains fall, waters part, angels are dispatched, doors open that no man can shut. And what's more, you begin to walk in the very thing you've longed for all along. Purpose, peace, and power that come from walking fully in step with your Father. Your obedience will unlock what your striving never could. So don't wait. Come back with your whole heart. Say yes with everything you have, and watch how I take your surrender and turn it into something eternal. You didn't see it coming. The change, the loss, the disruption, it all seemed sudden and unfair. But none of it surprised me. While you were caught off guard, I already stood on the other side of it. What looked like chaos was still fully within the boundaries of my hand. You may have felt abandoned, but you were never out of my sight. Every sudden turn has purpose in my design. I've used even what seemed like detours to shape the path you're meant to walk. What you thought was wasted time has become preparation. The people who left, the opportunities that slipped through your hands, the moments that unraveled without warning, none of these escaped my awareness. I allowed them not to destroy you, but to redirect you. You asked why the door closed, why the plan fell apart, why it all shifted when you had barely begun. And I say to you now, what you called disruption was actually protection. That closed door saved you from a greater burden. That shattered expectation made room for something eternal. I see the ripple effects of every choice, every alignment, every loss, and I am using even your heartbreak to carve out something holy. Do not fear the shaking. When your world trembles, I am forming in you a faith that cannot be moved. You don't need to have all the answers. You only need to stay close. When things shift suddenly, cling to the truth that I never change. My love doesn't flicker with your circumstances. My plans are not undone by your confusion. So pause, take a breath. Release the fear that whispers, you're off track. If I allowed the ground beneath you to move, it was only to lead you to something firmer. I don't waste pain. I don't allow delay without destiny. Even when you couldn't see the full picture, I've been painting something that will make sense in time. You are not being punished. You are being prepared. And everything that changed suddenly in your life is now in my hands. I will not let it fall apart. I will not let it end without purpose. This is the moment where you stop interpreting your future through the lens of loss and begin trusting that even this is part of your becoming. You are not in danger because I've abandoned you. You are in danger only when you choose to walk ahead without me. The storms you faced didn't prove my absence. They revealed how near I stayed. Don't measure my love by what felt good. Measure it by the fact that I walked with you through the fire, through the silence, through the nights you didn't think you'd survive. Let this be your turning point. Let this be the moment where everything begins to shift. I am not done with you. I never was. If you say yes now, yes with your whole heart, yes with surrender instead of striving, then everything can be made new. Come back to the voice that knew the end from the beginning. I still know the way forward.